go, baby. Let's
It's
go. Let's
it's time.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's hard to be excited when your team's only 500, but guess
I don't
what?
know why
This
you're
is the
excited.
coach.
I
We
don't know
are
why you're
back.
excited. You
We are
lost to the
back.
Bears.
It's hard. It's hard. We are back. This is the guys, BestShow XO. We got Noohi. We got
What's
Tim
cracking?
Jitsu in a crazy week of football. This was the turkey week. We got to
Gobble
eat.
gobble.
We got to watch some games, some things kind of shift in the NFL. If you haven't locked in with us, please lock in with us, guys, at the Couch Coach Club.
Absolutely.
That is at the Couch Coach Club everywhere. I want y'all to talk to us more. Some people do give me that banter back and forth. Some people be giving me pointers. I guess we got our very own couch coaches out there. So I do like that. We want to hear the feedback. We want you to talk to us, relate with us, link with us. We are a community.
Vibe with us, baby. Let's go.
We're a community of idiots that are just smarter than the guys who make millions.
We're
As you
calling
can
shit
see,
out.
coaches, the heads are rolling in the NFL. Coaches are getting fired left and right. Maybe we need a spot. Without further ado, let's start the couch coach.
Interesting.
Y'all know how we do this thing, just like a football game. You know what I mean? First quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter, then bring it home for the win. How we pop it off in the first quarter on what the hell happened? What the hell happened this week of football, man? Tim, you feel like popping this thing off for us?
Yeah, let's. We said we're going to talk about our teams first, right?
That's right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, talk
I'm wearing
about
a
your team,
Cowboys
man.
jersey, and the Cowboys went
ass.
to work and feasted on the XFL Washington Commanders. They are just absolutely terrible, but Dallas did everything that they had to do. Dak was on fire. He even got an on fire segment of his own this week in the QB huddle. So shout out to Dak Prescott for playing lights out. And the Cowboys just find a way to dominate, and the real season starts this Thursday against Seattle. I couldn't be more excited for it. Let's go.
Before you even get too deep in it, would it be irresponsible to say that Dak entered into the MVP conversation after this week?
I don't think it's irresponsible because we talk about quarterbacks, that are having these big weeks. He's had a couple big weeks in a row. The only really the only knock on Dak over the last 4 or 5 weeks was the last 2 minutes of the Eagles game. I'm sure he'd like to have that back, but otherwise, now it's if he beats Seattle and then, he beats Philly here in Dallas, then I think, and he keeps playing at the level that he is, I think he's certainly in that conversation.
I agree. Yeah, I think so.
He's playing very well, man. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due.
That's hard for me
balling.
to say.
He's playing at a higher level than he's ever played, in my opinion.
Ever.
And he doesn't have a true run game the way he used to. Right. I think he's setting up for a nice run. This is going to be the test.
A lot of credit has to go to Mike McCarthy. People forget how good he was in Green Bay. The fact that he really was the one that developed Aaron Rodgers. He's the one that went to a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. After he departed from Green Bay is when Aaron Rodgers started to have problems in the playoffs and went two of 3 in the playoffs without Mike McCarthy. So you look at that, and you look how Dak is playing, and now he's doing more at the line of scrimmage as the year goes on. That's all Mike McCarthy. That's all his influence. And so I love Mike McCarthy and what he's doing for Dak. He's really evolving Dak here. Finally, to play quarterback the way you're supposed to. I love it.
There's just some trends that I see, and it's some unfair treatment that I see from different quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins was one of those quarterbacks. Dak Prescott is one of those quarterbacks where if Pat Mahomes was on the same run that Dak has been over the last 5 weeks, people would say, oh my God, Pat Mahomes is on another MVP run.
Right.
That's true.
Josh Allen did it. They would be like, oh my God, Josh Allen's about to finally lead the Buffalo Bills to the Super Bowl. If Dak does it, I hear, well, they ain't played nobody.
Well,
and I don't like that.
But it's true though.
For a couple of years, we have not stood
they ain't
up
played nobody, bro.
Over 500, and when we played the 49ers, we got whooped. I mean, it wasn't close. Now we stood up against the Eagles, but everybody stands up against the Eagles. All of their games are one possession games.
The way it's looking, yeah.
I don't even know how much we could take from that. What I have to take now is what he's done over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and is that going to translate against Seattle? And then is that going to translate at home December 10th against the Philadelphia Eagles? If it does, then there's no question he's in the MVP race, and he's already starting to get some of that notoriety thanks to Aaron Rodgers coming out and talking about it and talking about how he's playing the position. All of a sudden today, I'm seeing all sorts of ex-coaches on all these talk shows talking about how Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the league right now because Aaron Rodgers said it, so it must be true. But I think he's definitely in that conversation.
And that's why I use the word irresponsible, because if you go against the grain now, you just kind of look crazy. If he's balling, he's balling.
Yeah, he's balling,
man. You can't. Yeah, he's balling.
Yeah,
period.
Let's keep it moving. I don't want to get too deep into the Cowboy Kool-Aid, and people think I'm a fan. He's just playing well. So let's keep rolling on that. Now let's hear about this the lust over Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Go ahead. What you got?
It's not really the lust, but it's just a team effort, man. Domination. I mean, this is played them in the last 4 games, beat them 4-0. Brock Purdy's undefeated against Seattle. We got to play him 2 out of 3 weeks. So, hey, this is just round 1. We got to knock him out again. We probably going to have to see him in the playoffs, right?
Play Sam Darnold.
XO's bored.
I mean, right now we're sitting number 1 in the division. We're undefeated in the division. It helped that LA has beat them again. So really our only competition right now is LA. And that's fine. But what I love from this team right now is they're finally starting to run the ball. Penner is back. We got our boys going. Banks is back. Williams is back, right? Debo's back. That helps in the run game. Elijah Mitchell has some nice runs, right? Yeah. We're starting to get everybody involved, which I like to see that. And Brock Purdy put the stamp on it. I mean, he threw that ball where only you could place it. I mean, if you go back and watch film, it was a beautiful setup. Instead of taking the underneath, he took the whole shot and split the defenders right in that 3 zone. It was gorgeous. But the thing that Brock Purdy has to do is he has to play well in bad weather. That's something I'm looking to see, because most of these guys I've been seeing, these dogs, especially, we'll talk about Buffalo and Philly game. It was raining the whole time, and these guys are still shooting it. So can he do it? Because it might be a wet and cold game, right? I mean, let's face reality. But I feel like with our defense, we got 15 sacks in 3 games. Man, we're going to make a run.
I feel it. Philly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear any.
There's some keys. Listen, it's no BS. There's some keys. There's some keys to this.
Okay.
And we're going to have to see it. But we'll probably explain that later in the segment, man. But outside of that, 3-0 right now, baby. Let's go. On to this.
What I liked about y'all's game was it kind of gave me some clarity, because up until this point, all season long, it was like the Seahawks is that other team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Seahawks is going to be that other team for a playoff spot. You can kind of see where the hierarchy is.
Not healthy though. That's not fair.
And it felt like the Seahawks were just kind of sitting there, and I think that ship is sailed.
Only did not. Gino's hurt.
That Detroit win in Detroit really set it off because of Detroit's success. Right. So that kind of been like, whoa, wait a minute. These guys are still a solid team and can compete. But
after they get shellacked this week, I mean, I think the Cowboys are going to hurt Gino.
Yeah.
Gino's already hurt. He's hurt right now. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying.
If you're hurt and you got to go play the Cowboys, it's not safe.
Right.
So that game was way bigger for the Seahawks than it was for the 49ers, because they already knew they had to backdoor and play a Thursday night game against a rolling Cowboys. So I don't know. Their season's in the tank right now. The 49ers have kind of looked like they're getting back to being the class of the NFC, especially after this week. But let me talk about my guys who are a threat to the 49ers,
Not a threat.
Not at full throttle, brother. No.
Oh my God, I don't want to hear it. We are a threat.
Bro.
We already got a dub. Big.
That's a totally different offense when Trent Williams and Debo's on the field, bro. We've all seen it.
We're a totally different offense with the best non-quarterback in the NFL and Justin Jefferson returning. But let me talk about this past week. If Kevin O'Connell, I want to first off say, I've been saying it for a very long time, you're one of the better coaches I've ever seen. In the Viking uniform, not just a coach, but as a person, what you're doing for these men is amazing. But what I've seen over the past 2 weeks is I've seen a very timid play caller. I've seen somebody who has been very aggressive. When we were desperate and we needed to come back. We were 1-4. There were plays that you were calling that showed me that you were trying to win games. And now I see you're calling plays to not lose. And if I think that's the best part of Josh Dobbs. If you want to get the best out of Josh Dobbs, he needs to be able to have some risk. He needs to be able to scramble. He needs to be able to use his feet. I need to see more shots down the field. But now he's kind of pigeonholed in this offense of don't mess up, don't mess up. And that has us 0-2 in the last 2 games.
I mean, what else would you expect, Stefan? He's coming in. He's only been there for a couple weeks. He's not Kirk Cousins to begin with. So you lose Kirk Cousins, you have to change your offense and you have to scale down. That's just
this is not a job. I don't want
think
the
it's a
blame
scale
to be on
down.
Josh Dobbs.
No.
There should be zero blame on Josh Dobbs. The reason being is because in the last 3 weeks, and this includes Kirk Cousins playing, I've seen 3 different offenses. So it's almost like Kevin he's trying shit right now. You know what I mean? I'm having things that I didn't install in the offseason. I'm trying new plays. I haven't had a mobile quarterback. I don't even know how to use his legs. And then you come in the game against the Bears and you don't use them. No design runs. There was one design run the whole game. That is irresponsible play calling. Kevin O'Connell.
Fair enough.
You got a bye week. Get this team together. Figure out how to integrate Justin Jefferson, but don't let it take 2 or 3 games. We're sitting real pretty and we're in the playoff race right now, and there's a very good chance that we're going to be locked into the playoffs anyways because teams like the Seahawks are not playoff teams. We own the head-to-head.
That's a bold claim.
We own the head-to-head against all of the NFC South. So it really only leaves a team like the Rams.
Yeah, you're worried about
maybe the Packers to be able to catch us. So we were going to get to the playoffs. That's my what the hell happened. It was just some bad play calling. But you know what? I'm not going to leave this segment without saying shout-outs to the Chicago Bears. Because if I'm going to scrutinize you all season and tell you you're a terrible franchise, what I've seen from the defense in the past 2 weeks, that is an Eberflus defense. That's why they brought you to Chicago, to play that style of defense that we've seen over the last 2 to 3 weeks. They are now, in the last 3 weeks, they're a top 4 defense. And I don't remember the last time hearing that from the Chicago Bears.
Been like Brian Urlacher days.
It's been since Brian
Lance
Urlacher.
Briggs days. Yeah.
Montez Sweat has completely changed the defense. I want to see more of it. I don't know why. I want to see better for Justin Fields, even though they're a divisional foe. I just want to see him stay there. I want them to use that first and fourth round draft pick. They had the first and fourth pick today.
Yeah.
Today.
Wow.
They had the first and fourth pick today, and they're 4-8. So they're nowhere near the worst team in the NFL.
So who do they get?
Well, you get Marvin Harrison Jr.
You get Marvin Harrison
because you
got
that's
to.
why you don't miss
him
on.
And DJ Moore. Oh
him and
my
DJ
Lord.
Moore is crazy.
Then you get the best left tackle available. You get the best left tackle available. Then you start and you go back to defense and you start working on that defense. And if I'm the Bears, I get rid of the Eberflus. I say bye-bye. Thanks for coming. And I go get the OC in Philly. And I bring that offense to Chicago. And now I start letting Justin Fields run the same offense that Jalen Hurts is running. Now you got to have a center for that, right? They've got to find themselves a great center up front, as good as they can find. But boy, oh boy, could you imagine Justin Fields running an offense similar to what Jalen Hurts is running right now?
I mean, I can agree with that, Tim. If we were to see Justin Fields in a Jalen Hurts style offense, I can definitely see them trending the right way. I just like what I'm seeing from the defense, and I think if you want to win in that division right now, you better play some pretty good defense, and they're doing so.
Yeah.
Mainly stopping the run. So I do like that. Let's shift over to the AFC and talk about what the hell happened with this Texans and Jags game. Did that give us any more clarity of what's going on in that division?
Not really. Because, again, the Jaguars are still up and down. I mean, and really the Texans, I'm surprised they didn't win that game. I thought they would for sure win that game. They should have. They missed a field goal. CJ put them in position again to win the game.
He did.
I still think the Texans were the better team.
Balling,
I think,
dude.
it just didn't go their way. I'm not a believer in the Jaguars at all.
My biggest thing is now, because of that win, it's almost looking like they're going to be gifted a home playoff game.
They might.
I mean, they're sitting. Yeah, Houston's sitting third in the division right now. with that loss. That was an opportunity to seal first for them. And then Indy just won.
Yeah.
There's just not another team, not named the Houston Texans, that'll take the 6th and the 7th seed that I would worry about going to Jacksonville and winning.
You're not?
Unless it's the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, what about the Broncos? You don't think the
I don't
Broncos
see
could
it.
go down to Jacksonville
No.
and beat them? I
Not
do.
in Jacksonville. Yeah,
I do.
not in Jacksonville.
Playing in Jacksonville is no big advantage. We're not talking about like it's in Buffalo where it's 3 degrees and the crowd is
No,
insane.
it's not that that's the advantage. I just feel like they're a way better team in Denver.
You think they're a better team in Denver than they would be
Yes.
in? Okay.
In Jacksonville, yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't see
Buffalo,
that
if
many
they were
others.
to sneak in, if Buffalo were to sneak in and have to go to Jacksonville, I don't see Jacksonville staying with Buffalo. I don't see Jacksonville getting out of the first round.
Well, let's
Me either.
Well, let's continue. Let's continue to what the hell happened then. Since you brought up Buffalo and the Eagles play in this swamp of a game. I want to touch on what you said earlier because both of those quarterbacks, they were dueling. You know what I mean?
Dueling. Yes.
Dueling.
Great game.
That's that Josh Allen that we like. That's the Josh Allen that we rave about. Like you
Yep.
be that guy every week. You
I'll
know
tell
what I mean? Jalen Hurts. If you go play like that, it's hard to have bad things to say about you.
Well, for
Yeah.
three quarters, a little over 3 quarters, there was no question that Josh Allen was clearly the better quarterback in that game.
And
Now,
it wasn't close.
It was the fourth quarter where all of a sudden, not only did the Eagles start to gain fire because the Bills did what every other team seems to do in the fourth quarter against the Eagles and implode. And part of it is they get the lead and they change their defense, right? They go to this soft shell defense and all of a sudden Hurts is able to throw the 5-yard curl and the 10-yard out and the 15-yard
Playing not to
kick
lose.
because no one's there, playing not to lose. Here's the other thing, and we've talked about this on this show multiple times, and this bothered me because I've seen it a couple of times against the Eagles, is the calls at the end of that game that either were not made or were made so egregiously to the point where the guy that works with the referees, right, Gene Saratono, whatever his name is, Gene, they call in Gene, and he goes, that should have been a roughing the passer on Philadelphia. It should be 1st and goal for the Bills right now. But it's not. The Bills are trying a 50-yard field goal. Those are the types of things that bother me. There was 3 calls, and I still believe that AB was or that AJ Brown was a fumble because the same exact play happened in the night game, and it was a fumble. So I don't understand how he catches the ball, puts it down, takes 2 steps, ball comes out, and they say not a fumble. They're talking about 3 steps all of a sudden, when at the night game they're talking about 2 steps. The referees are having way too much control over these games. Right? There was 3 calls that they missed in this Buffalo Eagles game that changed the game. That being said, both teams played great in the rain. What's that?
There's some money out there. There's some money out there.
I mean, maybe. I hate to say that. I hate to think conspiracy and fixed and all these things, but bro, when you hit the quarterback 5 yards out of bounds and there's not a roughing, there's not a roughing call, not a roughing the passer, but an unnecessary roughness call. When
unnecessary roughness, yeah.
You hit anybody 5 yards out of bounds, right? And there was that. There was the horse collar, and in fact, on the horse collar, they called intentional grounding on Josh Allen. On the one where they hit Josh Allen out of bounds and they come to protect their quarterback, it's a 15-yard penalty on the Bills for unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness, yeah.
So, man, I mean, so that aside, it was a great game. That aside, it was a fantastic game. The Bills should have won. They didn't. I mean, the Cowboys should have won. They didn't. We can name off teams that should have beaten the Eagles by now that didn't because they implode in the fourth quarter. So 49ers, don't implode in the fourth quarter.
We can't. We
Show
got
us
to
how
keep
to
the foot
do
on the
it.
gas,
Show us
man.
the game plan on how to beat the Eagles for 4 quarters because no one's done it except for the Jets.
Let's see it.
The
Real
Jets.
talk.
Isn't that crazy? The damn Jets.
The damn Jets.
The primetime Jets is what I call them because their whole season's been on primetime to watch that disaster.
That whole trash
Oh,
season
my
on
Lord.
primetime.
Golly, if I see another Jets game, I'm
When I saw Jets Dolphins, I just bust out laughing. I was like, why?
I think we're missing another game that was pretty big this week that showed us another team might be a fraudulent team, a fraudulent playoff contender. And I'm talking about a game that happened on Thanksgiving.
I Can't
I'm
wait.
talking about the Green Bay Packers beating the
Can't
Detroit
wait.
Lions.
Been telling y'all all season. Y'all
Here's the funny thing,
been riding them.
Ride that wave.
bro.
Riding them waves.
The Lions outgained the Packers by almost 100 yards. The Lions had a better
Damn.
third down percentage. Both teams had 7 penalties. What was the difference? Jared Goff fumbled 3 times. Jared Goff fumbled 3 times. I guess he was in the giving mood for the holiday spirit.
Yeah,
sure.
just tossing them.
But bro,
You get
how
one,
you fumble
you
the
get
game
one.
away? How do you literally fumble the game away when you're Jared Goff? You're supposed to be that guy this year, right? You have ascended. You are going to take your second team to a Super Bowl, a la Tom Brady. But you don't because you fumbled the ball 3 times against the Packers at home on Thanksgiving.
Damn.
Awful. I don't trust the Lions. No. Little kitties is what they
I
are.
don't trust a lot of teams outside of 3 teams.
Look. I was telling y'all this all season. You know what I mean? There has been a major hype train about the Lions ever since last year. Everybody loves Dan Campbell. He's a likable coach. It's something about the team. They're a likable team. They got some guys that, you know what I mean, they don't do a lot of talking, a lot of play. Guys that just go out there and play hard. It's fun to watch. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they're still the damn Lions. You know what I mean? And as you can see, they can't stop anybody.
No.
They have to outscore everybody they play.
Yeah.
It's been like that back-to-back years. Come on, Aaron.
That's not sustainable.
Come on, Aaron Glenn. Damn.
That's not sustainable. And guess what that is not? That is not playoff football.
No.
So with that, we're going to go to the next quarter. This is the second quarter. This is playoff dreams. All right? Who's the real deal in the playoffs? I want to know the hierarchy of the NFL today. Who's at the top? Who's going to make it in?
Well, who's going first? Listen, the Ravens and the Eagles are at the top right now.
Listen, this can be a whole joint conversation.
And no one can deny that those 2 teams are top teams.
They can't.
Right?
They can't.
The Chiefs,
if you're talking about who's the real deal,
the Chiefs
it's only a few
top,
teams that stand
the Chiefs
out.
The top team right now.
They're still going to find a way.
I mean, not no.
They're still going to find a way.
Out to me.
I got a lot to say here. The
49ers stand out to me.
They do stand out.
I think the Vikings are in trouble. Based off
of
say
what?
that for you. Based on the fact that Josh Dobbs has regressed since that first amazing night. And we're going to talk about Josh Dobbs a little bit later in the show. I hate to tell you that. But
I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Dobbs did not finish this season as the starting quarterback.
But at 6-6, it worries me because the Rams could overtake you. The Falcons. The Falcons are going to win their division.
Green Bay. You still got New Orleans fighting.
You got to play Green Bay twice. That should be worrisome because Jordan Love is catching fire.
Let's just be real.
We've already played him once?
Yeah, we already beat those guys.
All right. You got to play him again.
You got to play him again. Absolutely.
Let's just be honest, guys. It's really 3 teams in the NFC that we're looking at. It's 3 teams. We can go all day of all these myths, like what can happen, all these things, right?
Right.
It's 3. It is 3 teams.
If there's
the Philadelphia Eagles,
NFC, it'll be the
it's
Lions.
The 49ers, and it's the Dallas Cowboys.
This is what's confusing about adding y'all's teams in this same conversation, right? You know what I mean?
Look at it.
Hold on. This is what's confusing about adding y'all's teams, right? This is the reason why this is very confusing to me is because the 49ers are technically only 2 games in front of the Vikings right now, right? The Cowboys, 2 games in front of the Vikings right now. Okay.
What is your point?
My point is we beat one of those teams, right?
With Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
Your other losses are against teams that aren't very good.
Brother, we lost.
Cleveland Browns. You guys lost against the Arizona Cardinals.
To the number 1 defense in the league? Come on, man.
I think you're reaching a little bit. You're reaching.
Am I?
No,
the Cowboys
100%.
The Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Eagles are clearly the 3 best teams in the NFC.
It's not close.
And if there's one team a Cinderella team that could rise up, it would be the Detroit Lions. That would be the team that could surprise us.
Yeah, that's the only team I could see.
In December, it's
If
not.
you
It's
still
not
had Kirk Cousins,
Listen,
I wouldn't
if you
say
had
the same
Kirk Cousins,
thing.
I wouldn't be saying this.
in December,
I wouldn't be saying this.
in December, it's not about rising up, because you can rise up and you can be the New York Giants, and then you're just not very good.
I love how you have faith in your team here. I love it.
I do too.
It's what I told y'all.
Keep going. Keep going.
Vikings were 1-4. It was week 5, and y'all said, "Oh, I don't know about this team. This team's a joke." And I was like, "We're gonna go
We
on
did not. We
No,
all agreed they were the
we
best
can
1-4
review
team
that.
ever.
We're gonna go on a
Yeah.
mean winning streak, and we're gonna do the same thing, because guess what? We have an easy schedule. It's
But
not
you
our
don't
fault
have
that
your
we played.
quarterback anymore.
It doesn't matter. The schedule
Is it over
too
with?
damn easy.
It matters.
It's the Raiders, the Bengals,
Even if you get into the
Ain't no
the
playoffs,
Lions. The
Browning.
dude,
Bro.
you got to play the Lions 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 weeks. It's over, bro.
Lions
even
gotta
if you
play
get
it.
to the playoffs, you're going to
Like
go to
the
San
Sopranos.
Francisco and get
It's over.
lit up. So you don't want to be in the playoffs.
Hey guys,
You remember what happened when you went to when you played
this
us
don't
in
wanna
is
be in the
all
playoffs.
on camera. We'll
Yes.
come back to this. We're
We're
not gonna
good.
stay on the Vikings. I'm not gonna sit with this bashing session anymore. I'm gonna talk about the other teams. We kind of touched on how the Seahawks are. It's not really looking very, very good for the Seahawks. I can see them being passed up by the Rams.
The Rams are a threat.
So that means if y'all are saying the Vikings are in danger, you still need another team to make the playoffs. Even
Yeah,
after those teams, you
I
still
see
need
them. I see them going 500 in their last 4 games. I think they can beat the Steelers and Cardinals, but Eagles and Cowboys are about to get mauled.
If you don't beat Green Bay may take your spot at the 7th seed. You have
Yeah,
to beat
and
the
right
Packers
now,
when you play
it's
them.
hot.
Tim, we still have to consider the 6th seed.
The 6th seed is going to probably the Rams. Maybe the Buccaneers.
And we just
maybe
talked
the
about how
Saints.
that's crazy. Their schedule doesn't allow them to be able to do that. The Saints
Tim.
have to. Their division plays each other.
XO, I think what we're saying is your quarterback is not good enough to push this thing through. It's not your team. You lost Kirk.
Oh no! I
When
don't
you
think
lost Kirk,
Agree.
Hey, look,
it was slim chance and none,
it's
dude.
not. It's not about the
They still
quarterback.
might slide in. You still may slide in, but if you
Not
come
about the
in at 7,
It's
if you
it's
come in
about
at
the
7
defense.
and go to San
It's about the
Francisco, it's over. I mean, you might
It's
get
about
in.
the defense.
You might get in and
You're
get to
looking
play
at
again.
quarterback play, aren't you? You're looking at quarterback with the schedule.
I don't give a damn about the quarterback play. I'm talking about that defense.
I'm saying I understand that, but I'm saying that the quarterbacks that you're going to be playing,
the defense that made Glock Purdy look like a water gun is the same defense
water gun.
same defense that can rattle Aiden O'Connell, Jake Browning, Jordan Love, and Jared Goff, who just fumbled 3 times.
Yeah,
That don't sound crazy. Y'all know that. But I want to move on. Let's go to the NFC South.
What if I told you the Bears could go on a run and take one of those spots?
They could, but that'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Listen to their schedule. Lions in Chicago, winnable game.
Winnable game.
Cleveland, winnable game. Cardinals in Chicago in December, winnable game. Falcons in Chicago in December, winnable game. This is the game that could mean it all for the Bears, Packers, and the Vikings. The Bears and the Packers on January 7th in Green Bay.
The problem is that they're 3 games behind.
Yeah, but if you keep losing and they keep winning, then we got
Fair
problems.
I mean, what about the Buccaneers here? Even though they're sitting very low right now, they could make a run. Their schedule looks very favorable. Their defenses needs to tighten up. They're third in the division, though.
They can't seem to win the close games, though.
Look, Panthers, Falcons, Packers, Jags, Saints, Panthers. Tell me they ain't in all those games.
Well, they're definitely winning the 2 Panther games.
But their margin this year is by like 4 points each game.
Yeah, every game's
they're close. Right? It's not that Baker's playing bad, but their defense, man, they're giving up a lot. I mean, it's not good.
They have to win. They have to win 5 games.
Okay.
The 7th seed the 7th seed's going to have 9 wins.
3, 4, 5. They got that. They can lose to the Jags and win the rest.
You can only lose one game the rest of the year, Stefan. or
What's that?
XO, you can only lose one game if you want to get into the playoffs. You can lose one game the rest of your schedule.
Oh,
Because
I completely disagree.
I think you have room for one game.
7 seed is going to
look,
be 7
look,
seed is going to be Marcus down. 7 seed is going to be a 9-win team in the NFC.
And then you're going to run into San Francisco, whoever it is.
Perfect.
In Santa Clara, great. Bring it. Bring it. The last time you were there in the playoffs with Mr. Kurt, what happened? Washed.
That's great because you know what that means. That means that if the Eagles stay on top,
that means
we get to go to Detroit.
Listen what he says. That means that they go play Poochie's the Lions, and then the Cowboys are gonna. The Cowboys run to the Super Bowl this year might be the easiest route.
How do you figure in the second round? In the second round,
let's talk about that.
We'll have to go to Philly.
Yeah, but you guys can play Philly.
Y'all want that?
You can play Philly. Like
you gonna ask them? If you gonna ask the Cowboys roster, they're like, yes, we want that game.
Yeah, absolutely, we want to play Philly. They do not want to play San Francisco.
Nobody else is gonna beat them in Philly. Nobody else is gonna beat Philly but the Cowboys. That's it.
That's true. That's true. Except next week, except on Sunday, what you got to see.
Maybe regular season, but y'all ain't going out there in the playoffs and beating them. We need the Cowboys.
And then the Falcons win their playoff game. Talk about easy. San Francisco would have to play you or Chicago or Green Bay in the first game, and then get to play like the Falcons in the second game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, you got the 49ers only have one real playoff game this year. That's ridiculous.
The Eagles.
It won't be
the Cowboys.
It will be the Cowboys coming to whoop your ass.
Stay tuned. I can't wait. AFC side.
Tim, y'all not beating us, dog.
Coming to whoop your ass.
Let's go to the other side. Okay. AFC, this playoff race is actually getting very ugly because there's some household names that might not make the playoffs. What are y'all seeing in the AFC?
Bills got an uphill battle. They're pushing a rock up a hill, man.
Bills in trouble.
It looks steep, but they can. They're sitting at 10. Listen, they're sitting at 10, but their schedule is the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Dolphins. Listen, they're in all of those games because of what Joe Brady is doing with Josh Allen. We've seen it for back-to-back weeks. They put up 30 piece back-to-back weeks. Even though they lost that game, if they did win, all they had to make was the adjustment on the route in 0. We're talking a different story. If they're playing Philly like that, if they're playing Philly, listen. If they're playing Philly like that, they're playing everybody like that.
In 2 weeks, the Buffalo Bills will be a 6-8 team.
Whoa! Why are they going to lose the next?
So you mean to tell me right now that Dallas is about to go beat Buffalo in Buffalo?
Dallas is going to beat Buffalo.
Yes.
No.
We are going to We're going to force Josh Allen.
I'm glad we're filming.
He's going to have 100 turnovers against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Josh
Allen is going to have his worst game of the year against Dallas.
Against the Cowboys, I will match that and absolutely agree.
We're going to force.
This is a bold prediction.
Already going to be
Josh Allen annihilates the Cowboys.
Okay,
bold prediction.
So are they making the playoffs or not?
No.
Yes.
Then who are they losing to?
They'll get in.
If they're not making the playoffs, then who are they losing to? You said they're not losing to the Cowboys. Who are they losing to?
They'll
the
find
Chargers,
a way to get in.
Patriots?
You think they're gonna find a way?
They're gonna find.
I don't see it.
They're gonna find a way.
It doesn't.
I think they're gonna lose to Miami in Miami. They've already lost to the Patriots once.
I don't trust the
so they can't afford to lose to them again. They got to outduel the Chargers in LA, which hey, it could happen. It may be a shootout.
Look, what are we
talking
about?
You said they may lose.
What are we talking about?
Because it's the Bills, man. They've been good for a while.
Ravens and the Chiefs. This is coming down to the Ravens and the Chiefs. As bad
for
as the Chiefs are playing on offense, that's what it's going to come down to.
Absolutely. And we went on that 12-minute spill about Minnesota being a 7 seed.
Where is
we
that
know damn well.
You know what? I'll put it like this. If I'm a top team, I don't want to see a 6 seed Houston Texans in the playoffs.
No. But Houston right now is at 8.
I don't want to see the Texans.
I don't want.
They're at 8.
I don't want to see it. Like, they're 8 right now, but I think it's going to even up because I think that the AFC North is getting ready to fall apart a little bit. Do you remember all 4 teams were in the playoff race at one point?
The
Yep.
Browns won't be in it. The Browns are
The
just
Browns are
Bengals-
gone. Bengals are gone.
The
Steelers
Steelers
may be gone.
The Steelers are sitting there. Are the Steelers a playoff team? Answer that. What do y'all think?
Let's take a look at their schedule and see how it lines up. They got the Cardinals, the Patriots, the
That's 2
Colts,
wins. That's
the
a loss.
Bengals, the Seahawks, the Ravens.
It's a
They'll
win.
lose 2 of those games. They're gonna make
They'll
it.
win 4 games. They'll win 4
And
of the
then
next 6
they've
games.
had 9
They're
wins.
in. They're in.
They're in. Okay, so then that means we got to have 2 other teams. We got half and half saying the Buffalo Bills will make it. I'm saying the Buffalo Bills won't make it. So that means that another team from the AFC West would have to make the playoffs, not named the Chiefs. But
It'd be
who
the
could that
Broncos.
be?
The Broncos.
Broncos are the only team to have a chance.
Hey, what about the Colts, man?
That's NFC South.
Look at the Colts schedule. It is, but 2 can still make it. They're second in the division. And they've already beat
They're
Houston.
only 2 games back from Jacksonville right now.
Yeah, they've already beat Houston. You got the Steelers, you got the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Texans again.
All winnable games.
I think that Texans and Colts matchup is the spot to the playoffs. I think it's going to boil down to that.
That's a good call, actually.
Yeah,
but again,
that
whole
may
thing
happen.
is going to come down between Lamar and Patrick, and where do they play that game? Because right now, it would be played in Baltimore.
Yeah, so Pat ain't winning that.
Is it safe to call out right now? Titans dead. Bengals dead. Chargers dead. Patriots and Jets dead.
Well, I don't know.
Yes.
You know what?
Oh, A-Rod.
Aaron Rodgers has been cleared to practice with the New York Jets.
After 71 days. I think that's insane. That's
Aaron
crazy
Rodgers
what he just
is
did.
supposed to dress on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
ho, ho,
even
ho,
if he
Merry
dressed.
Christmas to all the football fans in America. We get to watch Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we get to watch him, but I'm hunting that guy, bro. I'm sending
the Jets
every
are done.
time.
The Jets are done.
They're done.
For this year.
I just want to be sure.
They're done. But it's nice to talk about, right? It's a nice story if Aaron Rodgers comes back in the same season at 40 years old.
I just don't think you do that to yourself. I think it's a lot of media attention to just keep the Jets fans engaged, knowing that both of their QBs suck ass right now.
Could be.
So,
but he looks great.
I
you
think
seen him on the field?
Yeah, whatever. It sees when it's full speed and you're actually having to, have fast twitch movements apply to that. And I don't see it being serviceable after 71 days.
Crazy pressure.
Yeah, and it's going to be 90. Yeah, it's going to be 90 days since he's torn his Achilles. Like that just is not a recipe for success.
He ain't playing.
It sounds amazing.
Playing in these cold ass games,
he's probably taking a lot of shrooms, having a lot of optimism, seeing through the tunnels and the trees and the forests. But the reality of it is, brother, the speed of the NFL in games. So you tell me that you're going to show up on Christmas because that's when he's expected to play.
Yeah,
that's the expected timeline.
Ain't no way.
And you're. I mean, he's going to go against the Commanders. He's going to go against Commanders on this. But then you turn around and go against the Browns. Good luck. Good luck,
he shouldn't play. He really should take care of himself and play next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
But Brandon, that's after likely losing at least 2 of the next 3 games.
He said that the Jets' record and him coming back to play were not mutually exclusive, meaning it doesn't matter what the Jets' record is. If he's cleared to play, he's going to play. That's what he said.
Well, that's a G right there.
That doesn't feel very Aaron Rodgers to me, but
yeah, that doesn't feel very Aaron Rodgers. Like, listen, that man's already got some money.
He's turning.
Brother, sit your ass down.
He's turning into a professional in front of the camera. You know what I mean? And I would like to think that he's just learning to say the right things.
This is just a script.
I just want to see him play again. Not this year necessarily.
I want to see him play him at his best. I don't want to see him.
I want to see him next
anything
year.
else happens because when you're favoring your other leg, so much, that could alter some things. And I feel like after breaking my leg, you tend to favor the other side quite a bit, and it could cause different
That's how people get
problems.
injuries on the other side.
Yeah,
So
look, right after my injury, man, just a couple of months ago, man, I probably like my hip alignment is all jacked up because I got a rod through my leg. So you're favoring one side, and with an Achilles, like, damn, dude, that's amazing what he's done in such a short amount of time. So kudos to him on that. But you're putting yourself at risk, big time,
big risk
in an NFL environment. Like, think about it. Like, don't be crazy.
Yeah. Because
you ain't got a chance in the playoffs.
This is playoff dreams.
Yeah,
this is playoff dreams, and you guys don't have them.
He doesn't know. Listen, he doesn't. He may feel like he owes the Jets or the Jets fans. You get that sense when he talks, but he doesn't owe anybody anything. He owes himself to not step on that field until he's 100%.
Yeah, but if they were on a run and they made a run, let's just say, for instance, hypothetically, Zach Wilson played lights out and they're in a playoff contention. Do you come back now?
No.
Would you play? Would you be like? Would it make sense to play, considering his injury, even after 90 days?
Yeah.
Would it make sense? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what you do. You put it all on line for the playoffs to go win a championship. So that's what you do.
That's funny.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Cowboys didn't do that when Romo was ready to go. And we lost to the Packers because
I hate that.
All right, let's move on.
That haunted you, didn't it?
Let's move on. Make it quick. If you just at a quick glimpse, who's in the AFC Championship game? Who's in the NFC Championship game? If you got it in your head, Tim, who you think?
AFC. Cowboys at Niners in the NFC. AFC will go. Patrick Mahomes goes to visit Lamar Jackson.
Yep, I call it. I got Ravens Chiefs. And they're going to Baltimore. And then I got the Niners in Philly.
Oh.
And we're going to Philly.
So disrespectful.
We may go to Philly, or hey, we'll see what happens on Sunday. But depending how it plays out, I'm good either way. But I know that's what it's going to come down to.
I mean, but it's going to be a Cowboys-Chiefs Super Bowl. So
nah, that shit ain't happening.
It's happening. Yeah. Wrap your head
around it. That's not happening. Sorry. I see a Baltimore 49er or a Baltimore Eagles.
Baltimore Eagles would be the sleepiest.
I see Baltimore running this. This is their chance. This is their effing moment. This is their moment.
I like Baltimore Chiefs too in the AFC.
Yeah.
My NFC, it's difficult.
Don't you say the damn Vikings. Don't you say that shit.
Not going to be the Vikings. I mean, they might buy
keep that shit out your mind.
Look. If Philly has the 1 seed,
there's this one way, brother.
look, all right, let me break it down for you, okay?
I'll come in and speak to y'all. That'll work.
All seriously, I think that, the Eagles, if they had the 1 seed, I don't see anybody really winning in Philly in the playoffs.
Okay. It's going to be hard.
I'm going to respectfully decline the other team. I don't know.
What kind of mess is that? Just because the Vikings aren't going to be there, you can't say 49ers or Cowboys? You know those are the two teams.
I completely disagree with the fact that both of them, that either one of them are going to get too far. I think one of those teams, the Philly's going to have to beat one of those teams first.
Yeah.
In the first place. Philly's going to have to beat one.
Philly's going to get the number 1 seed, though.
Because only one of them's going to be the 2 seed. And you know what I mean? So, and it can't be, at this point, it can't be the Cowboys if they don't win it. So Philly's going to have to beat one of them. I don't know, man. But the 49ers are wrong.
Let's talk about that for a second. Is it time for the NFL to say, you know what, the hell with division winners, and let's just go by record? Because if it just went by record, we would have an opportunity to grab the 2 seed. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't have to play Philly in the second game. We'd have an opportunity to be the 2 seed. Forget
where
division.
Y'all boys sitting at 8-3.
If they do that, it doesn't mean anything if you win your division. I get it. But
what you mean?
It makes it, since they wanted to extend the games, it makes that last game way more important. Because some people already have their spots locked. So it's like, shit, we're going to sit some people, you know what I'm saying, week 18. No point of playing them.
What hurt y'all, man? What hurt y'all, especially the Cowboys, y'all were 5-3 in the conference. I didn't know y'all were 5-3 in the conference.
Heavy.
Everybody else is sitting up 6-1, 6-0, 5-2. Damn.
Yeah.
Y'all are 5-3, bro?
That Cardinals lost, bro. Cardinals loss was bad. That was
Minnesota's 6-3?
Yes, sir.
That's why they have a chance. Look at
The Cardinals
God.
loss is bad. I'm telling you,
The
man.
Cardinals
Things
loss
can
was bad,
change
but it was a
up.
long time ago. It's not a
Let's move on,
representation of
man.
who
Hey,
we are
look.
today.
Let's move on. We got to regroup. We're gonna take it into the halftime. We're gonna drink some Gatorade and come back with the plays. Yes, sir. And we are back. Look, guys, it's really important that you lock in with us, man. We need more followers. The only way you can do so is by finding us at the Couch Coach Club. That is at the Couch Coach Club. I need you to like, subscribe, comment, turn on those notifications so it comes in like a text message and you know when we are on. We're about to bring you way more content. We're already doing so. My guy's been rolling all year long, talking that real good quarterback-ish. That is on the QB Huddle podcast. You know where to find these boys on the QB Huddle podcast. If you are not locked in, I don't know what you're doing, but we're going to keep this thing rolling here on the Couch Coach Club. Quarter 3, Pigskin stock market.
Let's get it.
The risers, the fallers. We've been talking about it already, but some people need a spotlight. Who are your rise and faller teams this week, Tim?
My riser is in Denver, the Denver Broncos. They've won 5 games in a row. They beat Green Bay, Kansas City, Buffalo, and your Minnesota Vikings. You know, they got to play Cleveland, Houston, LA, Detroit, New England, Chargers, Raiders. Are they going to win out? Probably not. But could they win? Could they at least win 4 games out of that? Maybe 5. Maybe win out. It's not crazy to think that they'll win out the way they're playing. So you mentioned it earlier, better at home than away. But I think they're starting to put it all together. Sean Payton is starting to have that effect on that team. Russell Wilson is cooking, and I love what they're doing out in Denver. So that's my team riser.
Can't complain. Who's your faller?
My faller, we're back in Detroit, the Detroit Lions, because you cannot lay an egg and lose
this is their first
to
time.
the Green Bay Packers at home, who are on a rebuilding season, and Goff fumbled the game away. We talked about that, 3 fumbles. It's just, I was real excited. I got up early, got my Madden in. I was real happy to, excited to watch the Lions take down the Green Bay Packers, and they almost ruined Thanksgiving for me. So to hell with the Lions, they're my faller.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yuck. That was a good loss. We love it over here. Noohi, who's your riser faller this week?
I don't even like this riser because I really feel like it's not a riser, but you got to give credit where credit's due when you're undefeated in the division. That's the Atlanta Falcons. They're finding just ways to win. It's ugly. Desmond Ridder, he's not that guy, right? Start giving the ball to Bijan, and then you got Cordero Patterson. I mean, it's a weaker division. They're undefeated in it, so it's just like, how do you not just give them a little nudge to rise, even though I know they're probably going to blow it up. But at the same time, man, they got the Jets coming up. Then they play the Bucks, the Panthers, the Colts is maybe a loss there. But then you got the Bears and the Saints. Those are all opportunities for them to win, and they play pretty tight. We've been talking about this from like the very beginning. Their defense is stingy. However, I mean, they were battling back. Derek Carr was doing his thing, but they're just finding ways to win. And what's that way to win? Give Bijan the damn ball. Just give him the ball.
Yeah.
Period. He makes it look easy. Period. Give him the ball 20+ times. You already pay him $13 million. Run that boy the whole way. Run him all the way to the playoffs.
He looked nice. He looked healthy. He looked He looked different.
Yeah, he's good.
Like that. Who's your faller this week?
My faller? I mean, this is it's gonna stay in this damn division. This is sorry ass New Orleans Saints. They don't have an identity. What's going on? Right? They continue to lose. They really could steal this division, even though they're sitting right now. And my boy Pete's gonna hate this, but man, they're not looking good, and they need to find a quarterback. We were talking about it during one of our conversations earlier this on Monday, and he said they need to go ahead and draft Jaden Daniels from LSU and keep him there. They think that would change everything. He said Kamara was averaging 5 yards a carry, which is good. They have weapons. It hurts that Olave is out, but what's going on in New Orleans? Their inability to score points. They don't score like they used to, right? And,
is that all Derek Carr's fault? Is that what you're saying?
I can't put on Derek Carr because it seems like he's really hurt.
I mean, if he's really hurt, then give it to Jameis. We know Jameis is going to shoot it, right? And so if I'm looking up right here, they do have opportunities to win, but there's also we've seen them go back and forth. So do we believe in them? I don't know, man. I was riding on it, man, as far as their dark horse, but they didn't really show me nothing, man. They get blown out by the Vikings. They turn around and lose to the Falcons. Then they turn around. They barely beat the Bears. Right, they beat the Colts, which helps, but now they go play Detroit, a pissed off Detroit in New Orleans.
Well, they better be.
That's going to be a tough game, but I think Detroit's going to ball out. Then you go play the Panthers, the Giants. You could get your feet going back then, and then you play the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons again. Man, that little last 3-game stretch, I don't know. And only one is coming out of that division, and one's already 3-0.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I like that. I like both of those. Look, I'm kind of on this team right now, man. I think it's because of the way they're playing football. The Rams, they're my riser this week. The Rams, they kind of been slowly just sitting around, and at first I was thinking, God, this is the worst team in the whole NFL when the season started. And then I started to look at it more and more, and they're in some of these games. They're winning games. They have favorable matchups week in and week out. But what they did this week was impressive. So what if I told you that
against the
Rams,
Cardinals?
This is what I'm going to tell you why. What if I told you the Rams won by 23 points, right?
Okay.
They won by 23 points, and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua do not have over 45 yards combined. They don't have over 5 catches combined.
Higbee balled.
And they won by 23 points.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah.
Also,
against a team who ain't laying down.
Why didn't those two have any catches? What's going on?
Kyron Williams returned. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, be on the lookout. He's getting ready to come off of IR, and the only thing he did was exactly what he was doing before he went out. There's nobody that gets the usage in the NFL like he does, not named Christian McCaffrey. There's not another player that is getting this many touches and is doing what he's doing with this many touches. And it's not getting talked about because he got hurt for a little bit.
Right, he did.
And the only thing that everybody remembers was this was Cam Akers' backfield. And then you remember seeing Darrell Henderson. But when this kid was playing, he's insane. 16 carries, 143 yards, average 8.9 a carry.
Cooking.
Then on the receiving side, the reason why they didn't have those catches because he had 6 catches, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Matt Stafford had a 4-touchdown performance. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua did not have 45 yards, and they won by 23 points. That's my riser this week. This
is going to get interesting, and you bring up a great point. This is very interesting.
That's very impressive.
You should be concerned as a Vikings fan.
I'm not concerned because the 6th and 7th seed was just wide open, and y'all already kind of went through why that's wide open. I don't believe in the Saints. I don't really believe in these other teams who can possibly do it, which brings me to my faller, the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. They're the other team. You know what I mean? We just named all the other teams who have the possibility of making playoffs in the NFC. The Seahawks were one of them, and they don't look like a junior high team right now. They just don't.
Junior high.
That's junior high.
Yeah, man. And I want to be heavy on it because the only thing that
2-game losing streak.
The only thing that I've liked from this team in those past 2 games that they lost is their addition. That addition that you made before the trade deadline to bring in Leonard Williams, A+. That man is balling, but I don't see no dog in nobody else. They're not running the ball very good. Geno Smith has been hurt. There's nobody with all these really good wide receivers. At the beginning of the year, this was the best trio of wide receivers in the NFL. From what I
did say that DK's been playing very mid lately.
From what I heard. Yeah. You got a Pro Bowl quarterback in Geno Smith, but you guys are barely putting up 13 points against a division foe. It's just not impressive to me, and I think their whole route to the playoffs ends this week when they lose to the Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Say it loud so the kids in the back can hear.
Cowboys gonna bust that ass, bro. It's gonna be a max out.
Players, who you seeing? Who's rising? Who's falling this week for you for players?
Yeah, for me, I've got 2 quarterbacks on this list. My riser I'm going to stay in Denver. Russell Wilson. I love Seattle Russell Wilson. I wasn't a big fan of Denver Russell Wilson, but he's coming back, right? He's only got 4 interceptions on the season. He has not thrown a single interception in the last 5 game win streak that they've had. He's thrown for 894 yards, 8 touchdowns, no picks, a completion percentage of an average of 70. Okay, he had one game where his completion percentage dropped in the 50s. He had one game where his completion percentage was in the 90s. So Russell Wilson is balling. If you're not watching these Denver games, you're missing out. My faller, I hate to tell you this, but it goes to Josh Dobbs, and this is why. 22 of 32 is good. 185 yards, that's okay. 4 interceptions, we can't have it. We can't have 4 interceptions. That's garbage juice. And if the Vikings are going to make the playoffs, he has to do better by not turning the ball over. And that's what he didn't do in the first couple of games, right? He wasn't turning the ball over. They're only averaging 5 yards a play, 22% on third down. There's a lot that needs to get better in Minnesota. So I don't want to press on that because I feel like you had
you're 100% correct. If you want to get to the playoffs and if you want to compete for a Super Bowl, you cannot lead the league in turnovers. The team leads the league in turnovers, and Josh Dobbs leads the league in turnovers as a player. So something's got to give. I agree with you 100%. I don't knock it. It's got to change. We got a bye week, or we're going to sit his ass down. One of the two.
And there you go.
One of the two. But pass or not, pass your ass off.
But it'll all hang out, man. That's all he can do at this point.
Oh, man.
Hey, 1-8 is coming back. Y'all better be ready. Quit playing with. Well, see, it's such disrespect. If
nobody disrespected him
on the ball. Because if Tyreek Hill was out, people would be like, man, the Dolphins aren't looking too good. But as soon as Tyreek Hill comes back, y'all gonna have some problems. If AJ Brown was out, it would be like, oh my God, the Eagles, they just look okay. And then they get AJ Brown back. If Travis Kelce was out, they would be like, oh my God, the Chiefs are not doing so good, but they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
You don't have Kirk Cousins anymore.
But guess what? You haven't seen this guy with Justin Jefferson.
Come on, man. Stop.
Best wide receiver in the league. Give him his credit.
No, he's not.
Okay, so guess what? If
you said he's not the best receiver in the league,
if he's not number 1, then he's top 5.
He's so imagine very, very good. But he's one receiver doesn't make a difference on a mediocre offense like this.
Okay, then why did Josh Allen become a good quarterback when he got Diggs? Let's keep it rolling.
Well, first of all, he didn't become a good quarterback.
Then I don't want to hear it. Let's keep it rolling. He
was already a good player. A receiver made Diggs.
You should have chosen him as a riser. Noohi, riser and faller.
My player rising, man. He's back healthy. Deebo Samuel. I mean, he's made an impact in all 3 games. I mean, he's not going to enamor you with the stat line, but he's physicality. I mean, he's back. It creates a whole different dynamic. Yeah, he really. I mean, him and Trent, they really make this thing roll. And you got McCaffrey, but
looks so different.
It helps to have him there. He's making some good catches. He hasn't dropped one yet. Knock on wood, but he's doing some good things, and so it's good to see him back. I don't think right now if we keep him healthy with this offense the way it is, man, God, it's so dangerous. And I know he's got blood out in the water in Philly, so he's ready to roll. Don't expect anything less than his best there.
It's a crazy dynamic, and I love that we're going to see him in full throttle running back mode this week because
see him on those zone stretches. Yes,
man, and you don't know what's going to happen. You see McCaffrey move, and I'm like, damn, they're going to give him the ball. Like, oh, shit, what's going to happen? You just don't know what's going to happen. Pre-snap reads with those two back there is crazy.
Yeah.
I agree with that riser. I like that very much.
I'm excited to see the Eagles play the 49ers with an actual quarterback. You know what I mean? Because last year he went out right away, then the backup comes in, he gets hurt. Then they bring Brock in just to hand off and act like he was going to throw, but he couldn't use his arm. So
it was pretty
what a
bad.
mess that was. It's going to be nice to see the Eagles actually have to play the 49ers with a
fun game.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be good. Who's your faller this week?
My faller, man. It's really hard to say, man, because it's not that he's not playing bad, but he's also really not playing good, man. Derek Carr. He's not playing bad.
You just
But
said they
he's
need to
not
get rid of
playing
him.
good.
That they
He
need to
is,
move
But he's
on
not
from him.
playing. I've never put him on a faller, so here his ass. He's falling off the cliff.
Ah,
So here it is. All right. Don't get Jaden Daniels with your start. Nah. But to be honest, man, he had a nice game. He had a nice game last week. However, man, these guys just aren't responding to it. I mean, he's got 2,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 5 picks, man. That's not a good ratio. 40. He's 22nd in QBR.
oh my
It's not looking
Lord.
good. Now, granted, if he's hurt or not, I mean, he's just not putting up the numbers, and that defense is still good. It's not like
Does
they're
he have
trash.
weapons? Does he have weapons?
Yes, he's got weapons. What?
I'm asking. I don't
Kamara,
watch any Saints
Olave,
game.
Kamara, Olave, Sheed. Like, man, Thomas.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Thomas isn't.
Here's the problem.
It doesn't matter. He's a big possession guy. That's all you need him for.
This is what happened in that game. In that game in particular, Michael Thomas went to the IR. Olave got a concussion. Shaheed went out of the game as well. So they were down to wide receiver 4.
No weapons.
If you play fantasy football and you need a waiver wire pickup, go find A.T. Perry because he might be wide receiver 1 this week, just in case you didn't know.
Gotcha.
Indeed. But yeah, he's my follower, man. He hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked good at all. Yeah. I thought he was gonna look better than that, but
well, it's about
I really ain't pointed. I ain't pointed him out I ain't pointed him out all season, man. But low key, he's been boo boo.
Your timing might be great because it's about to get worse.
Cheese. Yeah, I mean,
they got the Lions this week, and he's down top 3 wide receivers. So it's about to get a whole lot worse.
Yeah, brother. It's gonna be a run. You're second in the division right now, and you've got to play some good defensive lines. You got the Rams, the Giants, the Bucks, and the Falcons.
Y'all think I'm worried about people like them knocking us out the playoffs? Yeah, right, man.
I didn't say that. They've been on my faller, man. I'm sorry about the Saints, man. It's been a bad Saints night here on the second half.
I like to give trash credit. If you've been trash, I want to give you credit if you change it around. All right? So this is not about the team. This is about a player who has allowed the team to not be absolute trash. But Tommy DeVito.
Oh, my goodness. They made a sandwich after him.
Tommy. Hey.
Copy.
First of all, you in New York.
Tommy. I like it.
You're doing stuff like this, and guess what you're not doing was different than a lot of other quarterbacks that we've seen from the Giants. You're not turning the ball over.
Thank goodness.
You know what I mean? You're not no turnovers in the last 2 games, but you got 4 touchdowns, you know what I mean? And it hasn't been overly overwhelming, but it's been pretty damn good enough to get 2 dubs, and that's all that matters in the National Football League.
Straight up.
Good job. You know what I mean? The Giants, you're not going to be anybody. We didn't expect you to be anybody, but if you can go seize this opportunity, I bet you can go be the starter coming next year. You can go seize this job.
Spoiler. The Giants might play some spoiler in this
job. I mean, because the Giants are in a tough situation. You know, you already got DJ, but he can get benched. You know, there's a situation where you can just move him to the bench and be fine.
Right.
You know, the fact that you got Tommy, he's still on a rookie contract right now, or do you go dip in the well again and go draft somebody else? So he can go seize this moment, and thus far, it looks pretty dope. I like having mob ties at the games in New York. It only makes sense. It looks good.
Hey, Tommy.
Sandwich. He's got a sandwich at a local
and we finally had a Jalen Hyatt sighting too. I've been waiting for this kid to explode. He was the best wide receiver, quote unquote best wide receiver in college last year, and we haven't really seen that spark, but we saw it on Sunday. Tommy and him have a little bit of a connection, and it was on absolute fire. So I like to see it. I do.
Okay.
I like to see it.
Okay.
My faller this week as far as player goes, man, I don't even want to put him in this category really, because I can't say that I expected that much. But I want more from Baker Mayfield, man. Like,
okay. I mean, what else do you want from the guy?
He's got 17 TDs, only 7 picks.
Hey,
I
want Baker Mayfield to go beat the Colts.
Yeah, he got to do that, but he hurt his ankle. He might be out. I'm not sure.
Hey, I get all that. I'm just saying when you look at the schedule, and you looked at the schedule months ago when this season started, and you saw that Colts game, especially after Anthony Richardson went out, this is one of those W's that you kind of expected. You know what I
But
mean?
Gardner Minshew's playing really well. And
I mean, they're 1-6. They're
Both of them.
1-6 in their last 7 games.
It is,
It's
man. It's not good.
I'm not
yeah, their
saying
defense is giving up a lot. They're one of the worst defenses
That's not
in
good.
total yardage.
And you know what?
It's not
With
just
y'all,
him.
with y'all being Tom Brady fans, you know what I mean? Let me give y'all something that you probably hadn't remember happened in a long time. Rashad White went out there and ran for 100 yards. It just doesn't happen that much in Tampa Bay, and it hasn't in a while. So you got a competent running back. You know what I'm saying? Your offensive line is playing better than they have in a long time. You're actually able to run the football. You can control the clock with, time of possession. You just
Right.
need Baker Mayfield to go drive that bus, man. And I'm not seeing him win them games. And right now they're 4-7. They're in a situation where he's going to have to win them games. So he's my faller until I see something different.
Or they're drafting a quarterback.
You're drafting a quarterback.
And that's terrible for Baker. He's going to end up in quarterback obscurity for the next 10 years, being somebody's
Forever.
backup.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
I mean, but who do the Bucks go get though? Who's it? Man, there's not. We all say this is a deep QB draft, but I don't see anybody that's just. I don't see anybody that's just gonna go in there day one and take his spot. I don't see that.
No, it's not.
Name me one.
It's not about somebody taking his spot. It's about. It's almost about saying, are we in a better situation by just playing this guy? Can we go spend that money on a linebacker? Can we go spend that money on somebody in the secondary that can stop somebody? Because we're looking like one of the worst secondaries in the league.
So Baker's cheap.
It doesn't matter. Even him being cheap, that's a player. That's still another player that can be acquired instead of having his contract, regardless. But let's keep it rolling, man. Fourth quarter, y'all know what it is, man. Like, this is it's fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. The catching up has been an absolute blast. Last week fell flat on the face a little bit, but we kind of all did. Respectfully, we got quite a few wrong this week, all across the board. You know what I mean?
Who had the best week?
We really missed that Lions game. That Lions game set the tone the whole day.
Everybody missed the Lions game.
I was like, oh man,
everybody missed
so
that.
Damn sorry.
Riding with, putting too much stock in riding with New Orleans. Tampa Bay got us.
Downfall. Tampa did get us.
Tampa Bay got us. H-Town got us.
Oh yeah, I hated seeing Houston lose that game.
Stupid Buffalo choked.
Falcons got us.
And Minnesota got one of y'all. Because I called it. They were going to lose just like they did. Okay? But this week, fourth quarter.
Let's go.
The smartest idiot. Let's pop it off for tomorrow. We got the Thursday night game. Dallas Cowboys versus the Seahawks. Who y'all got?
Cowboys. Not even a question.
Not even a question. Not even close. They don't have a chance. None of that.
This is going to be one of those real exciting games. Bland may have his sixth pick six of the year. We may return a punt or a kickoff for a touchdown. It's going to be one of those games where everybody scores and is having a blast. Yeah.
Damn.
Big game.
Yeah, I like it too.
Let's go.
Cowboys. This won't be close. They're going to beat them. Seahawks are terrible. Back on Sunday, Colts, Titans, division in Tennessee.
I'm going to go with the Colts here. I think the quarterback is better. I think, I got to go with the Colts. Sorry, Tennessee.
They can't keep doing this to me, man. I want to pick the Titans so bad, man, but I'm not. I'm going with the Colts. Nope. Colts got it. Nah. Colts got it.
Yeah, I like the Colts too, man. I just think what's kind of being understated is that defense is actually playing pretty damn good over there. They're way better than I thought. The youngsters in the secondary are kind of showing out as of late. They're making big plays late in games. I like the Colts in this one. This is – who would have thought that this was going to be such a toilet bowl? But the Chargers at the Patriots. Who you got?
Does Bill get a win?
No, the Chargers are
Hell no.
Team.
Yeah, Chargers going to win. But it does come down to coaching, man. And I trust Bill Belichick more than I trust Staley.
I do too. That's why
in any situation.
That's why I'm gonna take the biggest shocker of the week, and I'm gonna take the Patriots at home against the Chargers because that defense stinks.
It
and
does,
then
but
he's going to
who are
be
the Patriots?
fired.
They're going to score points.
They
Man,
combined, both quarterbacks combined for 136
I'm not
yards
worried about
last
any
week.
quarterback in New England
Not good.
right now.
Yeah,
At
it's not
all.
good.
I like the bye week. I like Bill Belichick off the bye. That's it. That's kind of the only reason. Off the bye at home against a reeling Chargers team, it feels like that's the win
But
that
they're
the
not
Patriots.
coming off a bye.
That's the unnecessary win that the
They're
Patriots.
not coming off a bye.
Coming off a bye. Mac Jones just got
My
benched.
bad. He's got benched. My bad. That is absolutely correct. I will take that back. I'm not changing anything. No, I'm not changing shit.
Okay.
I'm not changing shit. I fell on my face, but I'm not changing anything.
I'm taking the Chargers on this one,
Fair
dude.
enough. Chargers.
Rock the Patriots. Let's go.
Go Chargers.
Lions. The Lions at New Orleans.
Lions.
I think this is a trap game for Detroit.
Lions.
However,
Stop.
with no receivers for the Saints, the Lions will win the game.
Yeah, I hate that this game won't be close because I need them to lose like 2 more games quick.
It's hard to win, though. No matter what, it's hard to win in New Orleans.
It is hard to win there. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I just don't see it, man. I think they might be able to run the ball in this game. I actually don't see them airing it out. I seen the Lions being able to run the ball, win this game. So, Atlanta Falcons versus the Jets. I think the Jets are on thin ice here.
Man, I got to go with the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons. Are fighting for something, and the Jets are to a point with the Aaron Rodgers in the background. It's like, oh, I'm coming back, but Zach Wilson has been a mess. So you have to bench him and you have to play. I don't even know who the quarterback is they're playing now. I can't even remember his name. That's how trash he is. What did you say?
Tim Boyle.
Yeah, that guy. Boyle.
Aaron Rodgers home.
Hey, didn't I put that as my quarterbacks to watch this week and during QB huddle? I was like, check him out. Tim Boyle.
Yeah, look.
Trash.
Yeah, as a joke. But I think the Falcons will win this game.
Yeah, Falcons, man. Falcons. They're going to run Bijan, man. Their defense is going to get tired. They're going to drag it out, sustain drives.
I'm not gonna say anything about the Falcons offense being the reason why they're gonna win this game, because that's not gonna be the case. I just think that the Falcons are gonna be able to get a couple more stops. They're gonna have better field position than the Jets in a very close game. Atlanta wins that. Cardinals at Pittsburgh feels trappy for a team that has playoff hopes. Cardinals at Pittsburgh. Who y'all got?
I got Pittsburgh. Winning this game. Defense is going to be too good. It's going to probably be freezing cold, and Kyler doesn't like the cold weather very much. I look for Pittsburgh to handle this pretty easily.
Yeah, I got the Steelers in this one. I don't like that I saw in the injury report that Trey McBride, Marquise Brown, and Michael Wilson did not practice. And that's just way too many weapons for the Cardinals to not be playing against a Pittsburgh defense that's playing pretty damn good. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers on this one. Yuck. Carolina at Tampa Bay.
Baker
Buccaneers
Mayfield
get it back on track.
He will no longer be Faller. You will put him in your riser next week. Baker Mayfield.
Not after beating Carolina. I'm gonna go with the Bucs. I'm gonna go with the Bucs. But if for any reason Carolina wins this game, Bucs just cancel it. Watch the NBA.
Hey, they might win. It could happen because they're playing off emotion. Their coach just left.
Yeah.
Their coach just got fired. There's a lot of emotion in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. So
don't be shocked.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe from not knowing. Maybe just not knowing what this team is gonna do. Maybe they go get a win. Maybe, but if they do, Tampa,
it's over with.
It's over with. Y'all done. You're through. Tampa. Miami at Commanders. Why does this feel trappy to me too? I know y'all gonna think it's crazy as hell, but it feels trappy.
Well, Sam can throw the pill all over the place, and he's number one in passing yards. And don't think that they don't have weapons. I mean, but it is the Commanders.
He didn't look like he was number one in passing yards on Thursday. He didn't look like he had any weapons on Thursday. At all, but
this also isn't the Dallas defense they're playing either.
Yeah, and this is a Miami team without
they struggle versus the Jets.
Hold on, this is the Miami team without their best pass rusher, and that's been a really nice part of this team all year. You added Bradley Chubb, last year, and he's been okay, but their best pass rusher has been Jalen Phillips, and he is now out for the season with a torn Achilles.
What happened? Torn Achilles. That's what happened on the field.
When it popped, I mean, you saw it. Like, this is out of everybody who's had it this year. You can see it immediately. It just looked like
I didn't know. I was looking at his knee the whole time.
Oh no, you saw it like this. Oh man, it was terrible, man. But I think that changes that defense quite a bit. Point blank.
I still have the Dolphins.
Yeah, but
they're going to be pretenders anyway.
They're gonna. There's no way they're gonna win. Commanders have no chance. That's over with.
No.
This is my favorite matchup of the week. I know there's some other ones that people might covet, but this is my favorite matchup of the week, and not the other one that y'all are going to talk about. But I like this Denver at Houston game, and I only like it because I think it means so much for the playoffs. It just means so much for the playoffs with both of these teams really fighting for that 6-7 spot. So who you got out of Denver at Houston?
I think the Broncos keep it rolling, and I think they get a big win in Houston at noon on Sunday.
I don't see Houston losing back-to-back games. I think they ball out against the Broncos. That's what I feel.
Man, I'm kind of with Tim, man. I don't think this team is not hot by mistake. They have changed some things, and this team just looks so different. The defense is very overwhelming. Damn.
And they made Patrick Mahomes look pedestrian, and if they can do that to him, I got to think they can have success against the rookie.
Every time I look at this, man, every time I see this damn logo with the Broncos, all I can think of is 70 points.
That's 70 points a long time ago.
That's hard for me to say that when you got a guy who's shredding teams right now.
Thank you for that reminder, Houston.
Oh, there you go.
Like, what are we talking about?
Cleveland Browns at the Rams. Again, playoff hopes are on the line right now. It's getting thick. It's getting real feisty around here. Cleveland, can you go beat the Rams? I don't know.
I'm going to say no, and that the Rams get a huge win on Sunday because they also are playing to sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I just think they're a more complete team right now than the Browns are. So I'm going with the Rams.
Yep, Brown season's over with. Rams.
Oh.
Well, I gotta agree. The Brown season is over, but look. A couple weeks ago, I called him the best player in the NFL. He's the centerpiece of their engine. He's the keys to the car. Myles Garrett not playing in this game. They might not win another game until he returns.
Did you just say Myles Garrett's not playing in this game?
Oh,
Myles Garrett is hurt.
Oh, then that was an easy pick for me. Rams by
What's
100.
wrong with Myles Garrett?
To be exact, and I want to know how long he's out. Because I don't think it's good.
There goes this defensive player of the year.
Yeah, it does. The injury right now says that there's a chance that he's going to be he has a sling on his left shoulder, so it's a shoulder injury. He went out in this past game.
I saw that.
Right now it's considered day to day, but the sources say he's likely does have some type of structural damage. So I don't think he's going to play. I just don't think they know the severity of the injury just yet, but it doesn't look like he's playing this week, period.
Well, if he's got structural damage,
season might be over.
Yeah, he may as well sit down until they get quarterback back in the fold next year.
Right. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Season might be over, homie.
Either way, they're not going to LA.
That sucks because he was on a tear.
He
was. He was doing good.
They're not beating this hot Rams offense like that.
Right. Matthew Stafford is still Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Now let's get real greasy right now. San Francisco 49ers at Philadelphia.
Let's go, baby. You already know.
I'm going with the 49ers here.
You already know.
Most of it is heart, but there's no way to me that logically I could think that the Eagles could win 5 games in a row the way that they've been winning, which is they've been losing 4 games. I think they're going to be down to the 49ers. If they come out slow, they will be because the 49ers will come out hot. I think this is personal for Brock Purdy because he got knocked out last year. I think this is personal for the entire 49ers because they feel like this is the bump in the road that they need to get past. I feel like the 49ers are coming in hot.
And they know it.
And they're going to win this game.
I mean,
I hope so. Please win this game.
I agree.
never said that, but
And
please.
look, I don't at me, Eagles fans. Actually, at me, I don't care. I think you're gonna get punched in the mouth.
Woo.
Straight up.
Love
They're
that.
riding. I think they're riding high right now. The type of wins that they had to do over Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen in back-to-back weeks. Man, I think it's gonna be too much. I think it's just attrition's gonna set in for this team, and they're gonna lose this game. I still think if you got to go the playoffs through Philly, they're going to probably be in the Super Bowl. But for right now, they're not winning on Sunday. I got the 49ers literally punching them in the mouth. Stay tuned.
Niners, baby. Let's go. And
Okay.
Nine's not on here, but he did
Sweet.
message us in the thread and said he did fall asleep.
He
Damn.
was asleep.
This is your moment to shine. Well,
It's a moment to shine.
you were asleep just like your team's about to be on Sunday.
Oh,
Sleep.
we're gonna put him to
We can
sleep.
hear about their demise. Oh my God. God, my God. Let's keep it moving. Kansas City, the night game. Kansas City at Green Bay. I like that Green Bay's.
Oh.
I like that
yeah.
Jordan Love is playing good right now.
He's doing good,
You know
man.
what?
Just to make it fun.
Had
Don't.
the Chiefs not lost last week, to the Eagles and everything, and not looked kind of average the last couple of weeks, I don't know. I kind of think the Packers have a shot, but I got to kind of think Andy Reid has had enough, and Patrick Mahomes has had enough, and they're going to put a stop to all this mess, and they're going to get back on track because just like everybody else, this is December now. This is the fourth quarter. This is when you have to turn up, and the Chiefs are about to turn up. And it starts in Green Bay.
I think the Chiefs are going to roll with this. I think they're going to max them out. I think it's going to be a bloodbath there.
Woo!
I mean, you got a pissed off Mahomes. You got a whole pissed off staff that they're better than what they're playing and what it resembles. But the one thing that they have going for them is they got a top 3, top 5 defense going into December, into the back end. They haven't had that. Remember, all those other playoff runs that they did have, they caught fire late. Their team, that defense has already been established.
It was late. It was even later than this.
It was late. Right now.
That's like, man.
This is one of the best defenses we've seen from the Chiefs in their Super Bowl.
Yeah, they are smacking stuff.
This is the best defense that Mahomes has had since he's arrived.
If only he can get a receiver to catch the damn ball.
This defense is hot. Their situational football is outstanding. The play calls that I'm seeing on third down and the pressure that they're putting on quarterbacks is bar none. And the DB room is crazy. Between McDuffie, Reed, Snead, everybody just kind of pops up. And I mean, they're playing lights out. I actually think this game is going to be a little bit closer than people think because the Packers are just kind of playing. They have nothing to lose right now. Jordan Love knows that the clock is ticking, so I think there's going to be a lot more bombs. He's going to be throwing that ball down there, so it might be a lot of interceptions, but they're going to keep it close. KC's still going to win this. Let's keep it rolling to Monday. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, no Burrow, at Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's Jacksonville. Cincinnati's
Jacksonville, man.
No chance.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
no chance.
Cincinnati's run by one guy, and if that guy's not there, it just doesn't work. The machine doesn't work without him. So Jaguars are going to roll this one.
Yeah, facts. Not much to say about that. I got the Jags too.
Probably won't even watch that game, to be honest with you.
We got a lot of the same picks this week, unlike a lot. It's a lot. So it's all on us here, man. We'll see what happens.
Tim, if there was anything you need to schedule in your week, I would schedule it for the following Monday, so that way you don't have to watch that.
That's right. You can always catch up on NFL Network or on NFL.com.
That's right. But either way, I think I'm going to miss it. That was a good call, Tim.
I think I'm just going to watch YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, guys, this was fun.
Always
I enjoyed it.
Oh, it was great, man. Always.
There is a lot of material that's going to have to cycle back through on this episode. So just remember that.
It's true.
A lot of this stuff going to
a lot of receipts out here, huh?
A lot of receipts out there, and we're going to check them.
Folks, leave some comments for us that we can address next week. If you disagree with us, if you want us to talk about something, if you want to bring something up that you want to know about, let us know in the comments so we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Matter of fact, next week I want to have a Q&A. How about that?
There you go.
How about that?
Second quarter Q&A.
Second quarter Q&A.
It's already established.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Let's get it.
Mark, play that theme music, my guy.